And it really is quite fun. I do really enjoy that, and I'm only realizing now that I forgot to do my 3, 2, 1, boom. I finally played through a handful of my Shelf of Shame games, and it's time for me to finally decide, am I gonna cull them or am I going to keep them? Now we're gonna jump right into this thing, and I'm gonna copy off of our friends. Well, I consider them friends. They don't know me. Johannes and Sinova from Board Gaming Ramblings. They do the Keep or Cull series that is so entertaining. They're playing through 600 plus games on their shelves and deciding whether to keep them or to cull them. That is dedication right there, and they're producing some quality content. Please go check them out. But I wanted to steal their idea and kind of condense it down to a Shelf of Shame edition. So I am doing Keep or Cull Shelf of Shame edition. I'm going to try and update this every month or few weeks or whatever. I don't play a bunch of games. I don't play, 2 games a day or a game a day as much as I'd love to. So over the past 2 weeks, I've played about 7 games on my Shelf of Shame. And today we're gonna decide whether to keep or cull. Keep or cull. Why am I talking so fast? I don't have the fancy signs like Johannes and Sinova, but I'm just gonna do thumbs up, thumbs down. We're gonna keep it simple. Keep it simple. So for our first game, we have Abandon All Artichokes. This is Game Right Games, and it is designed by Emma Larkins. And let's go ahead and decide right now. 3, 2, 1, boom, boom. This is a cull game for me. I do actually thoroughly enjoy it. And I'll explain a little bit more why in the next game, because there's kind of a reason why I'm culling this that is another game does what I think it should do, but a little bit better. I really liked this game. It's really small, it's really concise, it plays very quickly. There are a few things that gave me a little bit of confusion for such a light game that I had to not refer to the rules. I knew them well enough to talk about it on the spot, but it took me a few seconds to be like, yeah, that's how that works. A few things like that. We played this mostly with family, and I did really enjoy it. Again, this is not a game that I think is bad at all. I think it's really good, and I think it deserves all the awards that it's received this year. Very well deserved. It's just, for me, something does it a little bit better. So, Abandon All Artichokes is unfortunately for me a cull, but it is a great game, and you very well may love it. So, what does it better, in my opinion? This is gonna spoil the keep or cull on this one, so I shouldn't have done this, but this is my first attempt, so I'm not gonna be as polished as other people, but we'll go ahead and bring out Point Salad by AEG Games. This game, to me, does what I want Abandon All Artichokes to do a little bit better. It's super simple. In my opinion, even a little more simpler than Abandon All Artichokes. It's really easy to table. It's really fast. It plays up to 6 people, which I think Abandon All Artichokes plays up to, only to 4. Yeah, so this plays, not only does it have a better player count, like 2 to 6 instead of 2 to 4, but I think what it does is so simple. It's just a point salad game. The name, fits the type of game that it is, but I really like it. Just beautiful card art, just these little pretty, vibrant vegetables. That's about all there is to it. But I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did, and I've played this one 3 times by now, I think. Each time it's run super smoothly. There's just a lot of hanging out and talking as you just draft your cards. There's, it's very easy to mess people up, because when you draft from the pool of available cards, you also flip the point cards down. So if someone wants a particular point card, you don't even have to take the point card. You can just take one of the vegetable cards, which then flips the point card. It's very easy to mess with people, and I think it's just so simple, so fast, so fun. This is certainly a keep for me. It is maybe one of my new favorite, light, let's get it to the table and done in 20 minutes or less games. It's so fast, so fun. I do really very much enjoy Point Salad by AEG Games. Moving on, I'm not gonna spoil the rest, okay? I'm not gonna spoil anymore. I'm done with that. I'm gonna continue starting off light though. We're gonna move into the heavier ones. Not that I played any really heavy games this month, or this few weeks, whatever it's been, but moving on to the next one is King Domino Duel. Unlike Duelin' Thought, this is not a King Domino remake for 2. This is actually a roll and write that uses very similar rules of how King Domino plays. You are taking the dice and rolling them. You've got 4 dice. You're taking them and rolling them, and basically you're drafting. First player drafts 1, second player drafts 2, and the first player gets what remains. And there are 2 symbols that you then create a domino with, and then you fill in the board very similarly to King Domino. There's a couple of special powers that you unlock when you're the first to reach a certain amount of drafted tiles, or drafted die, and it really is quite fun. I do really enjoy that, and I'm only realizing now that I forgot to do my 3, 2, 1, boom. 3, 2, 1, boom. This is another Cull one for me. I did enjoy it. I thought it was fun. I was happy to have played it. I'm glad to know what it's all about. But for me, not one that I need to keep on my shelf. It's just, it's fine. It's good. It's genuinely fine and good. I'm gonna say that word a lot apparently. I did enjoy my time with it. It's not a bad game, but it's just not one I see myself bringing to the table time and time again. And I don't really feel the need to hold on to it. So that's gone. I tell you what, I'm not gonna mess up a single more time the rest of this video. Do you believe me? 3, 2, 1. Boom. Probably not. I don't believe me either. Moving on, we have Silver Bullet. This is by Bezier Games. This one was recommended to us by our friends at Foster the Meeple. I say our friends, and I mean it this time. They do know who we are. This is Silver Bullet. This is you know what? No, I'm not gonna mess up. We're gonna do it right. 3, 2, 1, boom. Definitely keeping this one. I've only played it once so far with Danielle, but I think we both really enjoyed it. And I can see with more plays, it getting even more and more competitive as you understand the cards more and more and understand how to play. Essentially, you have a tableau, if you want to call it that, of 5 cards. Some will be flipped up, most will be flipped down. They're going to be changing throughout the game. And you're going to draw a card from the draw deck and do one of 2 things with it. You're gonna either play it or you're gonna discard it, and that's basically it. And there's abilities that happen when you discard them, and there's ways to get stuff out of the discard pile, and there's ways to flip over ones on your table, and basically you're just activating abilities, and the goal is to have the least amount of werewolves in your tableau or your camp at the end of the round. And the ones with the higher numbers are more powerful cards, but also contain more werewolves. The number is the amount of werewolves that villager brings to your village. Really fun game. I did very much enjoy it. Definitely not going to get rid of it, though I should have probably teased Foster the Meeple and said that I was culling it, because that would have been funny for me and probably no one else. Now we've got Destinies by Lucky Duck Games. You probably already know what this is. I'll talk about it in a minute if you want to stick around. So 3, 2, 1, boom. Definitely a keep for me. Not only do I need to play through more of them, I've only played the first, is it 2 or 3? 2 or 3, I can't even remember. I've only played the first couple or few scenarios with only my wife. I've not played with Doolin once yet or anyone else, but we really liked it. Really liked it. The app is integrated incredibly well. If you're not a fan of app-driven games, probably not going to be a fan of Destinies, but it does storytelling so well. I love the theme. It's kind of like a gritty medieval fantasy. I really like that setting. I really like the decision making, and it's super fun, and there's more intertwined in the story than I initially thought. I thought it would kind of be like you're doing your own thing and the other person's doing their own thing, which is true. That's absolutely true. But the stories themselves collide, which I think is very interesting. I think both Danielle and I loved this. I would go so far as to say this may pop into Danielle's top 5 and maybe my top 10. I don't know yet. I still have to play more, and you'll likely see heavier coverage on this in the future, whether that be in the form of a playthrough or a review. Very much a fan of Destinies. I really like this game, and I really want to play some more of it. So that's Destinies. It's a absolute keep for my shelf. Okay, I think this would be the next highest one in order of weight. This is Architects of the West Kingdom. This is the second of the Garfield games that I've played. The first of which being Explorers of the North Sea, which is Doolin's game. We have a playthrough of that on our channel. This is the only other one I've played. I've not played any of the other West Kingdoms or any other of the North Seas. A lot of ofs in that sentence. A lot of ofs. Anyways, I did not even play my copy. My copy's still not punched, still in its shrink wrap. I mean, not in its shrink wrap up here where the cards are, but I played Sean at Markham Family Gaming's copy, and I'll tell you what I think about it in just a minute. So 3, 2, 1, boom. Definite keep for me. I only played this at 2 players, and I still really enjoyed it. I'm not a worker placement guy for the most part, and a lot of that's because of the fact that I haven't played that many. I haven't played that many worker placement games, meaning I haven't fallen in love with that many worker placement games. But this one really does it well. I'm excited to play it at a higher player count because I do think that the action of capturing and putting people in jail and getting them out of jail or whatever would work better at a higher player count, more interaction. But I thought this was really great. I do believe I ended up winning this game, and I think it was really interesting because there's a track, and I can't remember the right name for it. It's like morals almost. And so Sean played the black market really low down. He was not a well thought of member of society in this game. And I took the high road, and I was always near the top of that track. And it was very interesting to see how that played out, because when you get to the bottom, you're locked out of some things, but you get bonuses in other things. When you get to the top, you're locked out of some things, but you get bonuses in the other things. And they're typically the opposite things, of course. I couldn't go to the black market. He got extra benefits for going to the black market. He couldn't build the chapel. Whatever. I was able to pay off debts easier, stuff like that. I really liked that push and pull, and I thought that the timing of the black market reset in which certain things happen was really fun. I was, making sure I had several of his people in jail at the black market reset, because he wouldn't be able to get them all back. He'd have to pay something. I don't remember the exact rules and mechanics behind it, but I really liked that planning out. Thought this was a lot of fun. The art is great if you like these kind of things. Obviously the art is very distinct. All of his games, or all of their games, look very similar, but I am a big fan of this one, and it makes me want to get the other ones, Paladins and Viscounts, even more. Architects of the West Kingdom, a certain keep for my shelf of shame. Nope, for my shelf. On to the last game of the day. This is Cthulhu Wars Duel. This is the standee 2-player only version of Cthulhu Wars by Peterson Games. This is whatever. We'll talk in a minute about it. So Keeper Cull, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Boom. I'm gonna do like a 3. Boom. It's a keep. It's a keep for now. It's a keep for now. It was upside down. It was upside down. You didn't tell me? You weren't gonna tell me that this was upside down? I can read this. This is right side up for me. Oh, well now I just messed up everything inside. And now it's right side up. Cthulhu Wars Duel, the 2-player only standee version of Cthulhu Wars by Sandy Peterson Games. I really did like this. I was playing this with my friend Mike, and we were chatting a lot, rulebook in hand. So it took a lot longer than it should have, but I still really enjoyed it. But I want to play it again and again at a lower player count. I mean, no, you can't do that without the rulebook in hand, and just at a lower time, like making sure we're actually pacing through it properly, because it took us a long time. Like I said, we were just chatting, we were having a good time. We didn't really pay a ton of attention, but the game on the table was enjoyable, and that's mostly what matters. I do want the big box version already because of minis and more factions. Mostly that, more factions. I was already looking forward to trying out more factions and the combinations and how they play, but I did play the Black Goat and kind of slowly started to figure out how she plays. I thought this was a really good game, really approachable for the price point that it is. If this is something that interests you, Cthulhu Wars at all, I do think Duel is something you should definitely try out. Really fun game. I very much enjoyed it. I just want to play it more before I give it a, for sure, it's staying in my collection, thumbs up. So those are the 7 games on my shelf of shame. I've played others over the past few weeks, like Quacks of Quedlinburg and King Domino and Parks and stuff like that, but I figured we'd condense this down to just the Shelf of Shame games version. If you'd like to see me talk about more and whether I'm keeping them or culling them, because honestly I'm always looking to keep and cull games, because I like to rotate. If I have games I really love, I want to hold on to them. Other than that, I like to cycle them in and out so I can try new things, because I'm still so new to this hobby. So let me know what you'd like to see in the future, but I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let me know if you have any opinions on any of these 7 games. I'm gonna bring them back in shop for you real quick, just so you can see what they're all about, and then I'll let you go. It's not like you couldn't click off of this video already, because this is a YouTube video and you're not being forced to stick around. You're here by your own choice, and that's good. I'm glad that you're here, but I'll let you go in now. See you later.